we're live. Hello, everybody. Let me know that you can hear me in the chat. And, oh, hi, Yanalith. That intro music scared me bad. Sorry about that. I'm still figuring all of this stuff out. I'm having fun doing it, though. I hope you guys appreciate the effort that I'm doing. Bruno's here with me today. Bruno has no idea who I'm talking to. He just thinks I'm crazy. Say hi, Bruno. Okay, so let's just get into it. Last week, I made a one-piece pattern dress, and I've worn it around this week. It's been fun. I wore it to the thrift store, I wore it to the grocery store, and I even wore it on the live stream on Sunday. I do really like the dress. I really like the fabric is really what I do like about that dress the most. It says that it's an infinity dress with infinite possibilities. There are about 5 pictures of how to wear it on the package, maybe 6. I tried all of them, and there's about 2, possibly 3 that I actually feel comfortable really wearing, and they weren't the ones that I thought they would be. Let me stop leaning that way and just kind of sit up straight. I'm like, don't worry, we're just live. But yes, I really do like that dress. No, I have no interest in making any more. I think that dress as is perfect, and I will call it a day on that chapter. I, however, got this really awesome blue fabric with these big pink and red roses on it, and I was going to use it as backup fabric. But since I don't really like that dress, don't want to make another one, and I still have this huge piece of fabric, we are going to be playing today. I'm going to be making up a dress as we go, and we'll see what we end up with, and it should be fun. Hello, Dan Does Junk, and the 45th Clown. Hello, sound is good. Yay, my sound works. Your mic can capture your sound just fine as long as you're quite close to it. Okay, I will make sure that I stay close to my mic today and not keep wandering away from it. But all right, I have fabric spread out, and I have Toby at my feet. Do you guys want to say hi to Toby? Here, let me go to camera 2. There's Toby. Say hi, Toby. Hi. How you doing? And okay, Toby said hi. All right, so I have a basic pattern set. When I was first starting sewing, I've seen patterns to make your own pattern block, and I'm like, how do you even use those? Especially when you're going and using package patterns. All the E's and things are already figured out. So how does this translate? Well, I'm going to kind of show you how to use a basic pattern block to make up something as you go. This is my bodice front. There has 2 inches of wiggle room that I usually pattern in there so that if I need to adjust the waistline, I can, but I always end up cutting that much off. So this is the right math. Now it just kind of depends on where I want to put my waist seam, but I don't want to do a waist seam. I think I'm going to do no waist seam. So we'll make that up as we go, but I have a bodice with a dart. The biggest thing I really want from this is my armhole. I'm going to be changing up the neckline, but my armhole fits my sleeve pattern, and it's a straight sleeve, and I just want a fitted straight sleeve. We can mess around with this all we want, but this is the important information from the pattern that we really need. And also, this measurement and this measurement are, I've worked with, this is the same pattern that I did the Harley Quinn, the Harley Quinn pantsuit out of for the bodice. So this sleeve and bodice work. And then this is the bodice back, and it has no dart. Part of me was considering, since it's a stretch knit, like completely eliminating the dart because it's not that big of a one. But I'm not going to because I think it'll turn out much better. And then I can show you guys how to do a dart. 45th Clown says, morning, everyone. Is it morning where you're at? Because it's evening here. It's getting nice and dark. There's no more sunshine left for the day. Everybody's saying hi to you, Toby, so feel special. Let me get up. Oh, I had this fabric flat, now it's flat again. Measuring tapes. So this measuring tape is my favorite for visual because it's I can see it from across the room how big an inch is. But this measuring tape is my favorite one to function with. It starts at 1 at both ends. I know that's a weird thing to even, like, how do you search for that feature on a measuring tape? Because most measuring tapes on Amazon don't have that feature. There's a 3-pack for $7.99 and they have that, but it's like filtering your search. I just want it to start at 1 at both ends. And here, let me go to my iPhone camera. And so I can show you guys that. See, it does. I can adjust to the. What if I block the rest of the screen? Okay, well, it says 59 and 1. And then look, it's also 1. Anyways, a little thing that makes a huge difference when I use my measuring tape. And since we're going to be using it, I figured I might as well tell you about my favorite tools. All right, fabric is laid out flat. I kind of want to be a little fussy cutting. I want to fussy cut this a little bit. What's the term fussy cut mean? It means that I am going to move my pattern based on the repeat of the pattern on the fabric so that I can put my neckline on a pretty flower clump. And also you want to be careful about putting your flower clumps strategically on your dress. Let's just put it that way. It's going to make a difference. So I think I want a big motif towards the top of my neckline. I want to do a nice big deep scoop. Do I have... I'll just use my pins because I don't want to ruin my pattern. I think I want to do a big scoop. So I'm going to mark how deep I want my scoop to be. I want a narrow shoulder coverage. Like if I want my full shoulder covered up to the jewel neckline, it's probably about between 4 and 5 inches. But I think I want to have a narrow shoulder coverage, probably only about 1.75. Let me see how wide this is. 1 at both ends. Yep, with seam allowance, this is 1.75. Okay, so I like that. I'm going to change my neckline up, keep my shoulders as is, keep my dart as is. I think that's going to be my biggest things that I'm changing on this. And I have a pin marked so I can put my neckline where I want it to be, and then I will cut it in the fabric. Okay. Let me see if this 2-camera setup will help while I am cutting. Oh, hi, Toby. Toby's head's right here. You can see he's kicked the leg so that my camera's not as close to... Sorry, Toby. I love you. As close to the fabric as I can. Okay. Hi, Bruno. Okay. My neckline's going to be hitting here, so I want these motifs hitting my neckline. And I'm going to look underneath my table. It's a glass table. So I can see... what the motif is going. I had to peek underneath the table to see what the motif was going to be like on the other side of my pattern. Okay, let me pin this pattern in place. You know what? I have fabric weights right here. Let me use those. Toby, did you hide them? You did. fancy weights. Just wait. Where I want, and then I am going to, sorry about kicking the microphone there. I am going to shift everything slightly down so that I can, let me go back to my regular camera, webcam. Hi. Okay, I'm going to shift my stuff down. Hi, Bruno. So that I can cut out my skirt, because I have my bodice where I want it kind of within the pattern. And now I have to plan out my skirt. I'm not using a skirt pattern piece at all. I am just going to be using measurements. But I have to give myself space. Oops. Hi, Bruno. I need you. Give me some space too. I swear I spend more time laying my fabric flat than the rest of the sewing process. I'm going to take my measuring tape and I'm going to mark it right where my waist is, and then my waist to hem is, I'm going to mark it at 40 inches. Hi, Bruno. And of course I have to walk around Bruno. I don't want to interrupt him and his comfort. The night, just. Sorry about hitting that microphone. 940 right here. Waist to hem. All right, Bruno, I need to do this. Okay. Grab my pins. Go down. So across the waist. Hi. So across the waistband, it's just straight down 40 inches. And then I'm going to swing out the skirt to meet the selvage edge. And then that's where we're going to get the A-line of our skirt. I have my measuring tape. That way I can just leave it right here and follow along. That way I don't actually have to pin it, but okay. I'm really just dragging this out. I could have already had this cut out by now. Let's just start cutting. Okay, let's just start cutting this out. I'm going to cut it out at the neckline. I have the pattern, and then I'll cut it deeper once I have the piece cut out. Now I'm going to swing this measuring tape until it touches. Hi, Toby. Is this the Toby show? Yeah. Yeah, this isn't a close-up cam. It is a Toby cam. You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to take this measuring tape, keeping it right here at my skirt, and I'm going to swing this to my go with the weights. This measurement all the way over to here, and let me cut it out. Okay, I see that everybody's talking on the chat, but I can't quite see it yet, so I will peek in a second. Let me just get this cut out. My extra fabric. I'm going to use this big old piece to cut out the sleeve, but I'm just putting it to the side for now because I need to smoosh everything down this way in order to cut this part out, which is right off camera. None of this is magnetic. Still just barely off camera, but we'll work with it. We'll do it. Stay. Okay. Waist measurement. That makes more sense. All right. Let me mark my darts. Let's see about putting it on camera. Sorry about the sound there. Let's go to my iPhone camera. Toby's moved. Yay. So I need to mark my darts. I need to put, I use 2 pins. And my dart point is right here. And then I'm just going to do 2 tiny notches within the seam allowance to mark my dart legs. Nothing too crazy. Okay, let me finish cutting out the rest of the dress. Ah! Oh wait, I wanted to drop the neckline. Let me do it on close up. Okay. So this is how low I want. When you're cutting curves and you don't want to point up or down right at the center, cut straight for a half an inch, a quarter inch to a half an inch before you start curving, and you won't have any funky curve, like points on your curve. So just go. Don't change the shoulder seam allowance, just kind of. It's okay. I'm only live. I'm knocking the cameras around. I hope you guys aren't too dizzy. Okay. So I'm going to put the dress front to the side for the moment, and then we can cut out the back. There is 100% a direction to this fabric. The flowers, these ones are the similar motifs in size, but they're not the same motifs. And so they're not necessarily, there's an up and a down. It may not be the most noticeable in the pattern, but I would notice it. So I have to keep them all in the same direction. You want to come back in? Bruno wants his chair back. Here you go. And now I'm just going to use this pattern. I'm just going to use the pattern for the back, but this is the piece I cut off from the front so I can skip them similarly. Okay, before I start cutting out the bottom, I'm going to say hi to everybody. That's so funny looking. Let me fix this. I love it. Oh, that is so funny. I'm just going to kick onto my iPhone camera until I figure out what I did with the webcam. Hi, Toby. This is making me laugh. Thank you guys so much for putting up with me troubleshooting this. I knocked my camera. Let me go and see if I have it plugged in. 1 second. Okay, this is making me laugh every time I see it. 2 camera setup. Let me... What happened? Funny face, Felicia. I love it. We're just going to go with it for the moment. I am trying to fix my camera right now. Okay. I'm moving in the camera. Let's see if it worked on this one. I'm not a ridiculous face anymore. We're just going to go with it. Okay. You guys are funny. Site. I'm jumping up and down. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay. Thank you guys for bearing with me for that. Okay. I kind of know what I'm doing now. But let me see what everybody's saying, and then I will go back to finish cutting out this dress. We have Big Bad Wolf custom airbrushing and decal. I wanted to add the big and the bad to the bad. But saying, your expression reminds me of the charismatic voice YouTube channel when she hears awesome music. That's funny. I have to deactivate it and reactivate it. Okay, I did that. That's how I got it back. So, yay. Okay. 45th Clown is asking, is this fabric another vintage one? No. Could be. It is from my mom's stash. I shopped my mom's stash, and now I bought this one just in case the vintage fabric that I used on the last dress didn't work. So I don't know if you can still buy this fabric, but it is definitely a modern stretch knit. It is not like a vintage stretch knit. Let me go back in some of these comments because I completely missed them. Can you isolate your microphone and stand table clip with some fun foam to reduce the glass table reverb? Okay, I will do that on the next one. I am slowly upgrading, and I appreciate that you guys have some intel. I think that will really help. This time I'm using this thing because last time I didn't have it. And I noticed that it makes a big difference. No sticking out your tongue, Felicia. That's funny. Okay. All right, I think I'm pretty caught up. Austin Lips, my day is going very well. Thank you very much. I am kind of really excited about working on this project because I keep looking at this fabric going, I want to wear it as a maxi dress. I just want a modern kirtle out of this fabric, and that's kind of what I'm doing. No darting. Well, I do have bust darts, but no like crazy darting, no waist seams, just side seams and t-shirt sleeves. So this should be a lot of fun, and I gotta stop talking and start cutting. Let me move. I don't want to knock the thing that I knocked over that initially froze the stream. Okay. Let me see about going to cams. Okay. So put this. That needs to scooch down ever so slightly. the computer's right where I want to put. Let's not mess that up again. Oops. Scooch this whole thing this way. Let me slide everything. Oops, sorry about that. This is all just out of frame. I might as well just go to the regular webcam. Hold on. Let me see if I can give a little bit more of my work surface. Less headroom, but more work surface. Waistband. Everyone okay? Sorry about scaring you, Bruno. Okay. I have a front and a back cutout, Now all I need is 2 sleeves. Hi, Bruno. Hi. Huh. All right. I have to use the scraps to cut out the sleeves, and I think I'm going to have to use the triangles that I cut off. Okay. Now I can fussy cut this, but it's such an overall pattern that I don't think whatever it ends up being, I'm going to hate. Oh, you guys can't see because this is totally kicked out of the way. This camera it is. Oops. There's a Bruno right here. Wait. Way faster than pinning. So I have the selvage edge right here. I'm just going to do this. I have the selvage edge right here, and I want this line right here to be parallel with that edge is what I'm really trying to do. But let's get off the shaky cam. Put that back where it belongs. We're still figuring all of this out, but okay. Eonolith, is Spooky in the building? Yes, he is. He is in this room somewhere. I have no idea, but he knows where I am. I have no idea where he is. He may or may not show up. Toby and Bruno are kind of like right on me, so he usually just stares at me when they're like this close to me. But it doesn't mean he won't come out. It's okay, we all drop stuff. Yep. Big Wolf custom airbrushing and decals. Love the magnetic holder. Dropped a mega box of yellowhead pins once. Nightmare to pick up. Then you have to live with this one of the snap-on magnetic trays. Oh, and you can call me Bad Wolf. Okay. Yeah. This is from Harbor Freight. I have a couple of these magnetic bowl dishes. They're meant for holding car parts, like nuts and bolts as you are working on your car. I stole mine, first one from my dad, and then these were really cheap, so I got myself some more of them. And I definitely prefer magnets to the stabby pin cushions because it's just night and day faster. Okay, let's do this. And just cut it out. And since I'm not using... Hi, Spooky. Talk about dropping the pins. I spilt them all on the ground. cleaned them up. All right, I'm just going to. Hi, Spooky. Do you guys hear Spooky, or is it just me that can hear him? Okay. Okay, all my pattern pieces are cut out. Not bad. Okay. Let me pull out my sewing machine. Oh, geez. I'm trying to give you guys a better view of my sewing machine, but I don't think this is the right camera setup for this time, but we'll work on it. Work on it better each time. All right. Spooky is making themselves heard on the mic. Spooky, we hear you. Okay. I will fix the sound hopefully next time. Oh, I didn't turn it on. That would explain a lot. There we go. Okay, I was just reading comments. Hi, everybody. And Bad Wolf, no worries. Hi, how are you? Welcome to my stream. I'm glad you guys could all be here. That's enough bobbin thread. I don't think we're going to use up a whole bobbin. Okay. Bobbin is threaded. Ready, set. And sewing machine's threaded. Not bad, right? Okay, so I am going to start with sewing my dart. Not a pattern piece, not a pattern piece. This is the back. Extra piece. Here's the front. Right sides together. Find my pin. My two little notches line up right next to each other. My pin is on that fold line. I'm going to put my pin. Hold on one second. I might be able to. I really want you guys to see this. It'll make way more sense if you can follow along. Okay. What's going on, Spooky? This way. And hi Bruno, are you gonna help? That's what I need to do. I can figure this out. Hold on, we're only live. 1 second. Ugh. Hold on 1 second. Let me forget the source and then remember the source. Droid cam, let me fix this real quick. So sorry. I will be... Okay, well, I tried. I really, really tried. I will figure this out. We're getting better. We are. Okay. Dart is folded over. I'm just going to sew it, matching up my two edges. You know what? I can even pin it so that I know where I'm at. And I'm going to start at the tip. I put my needle right where my pin is coming out. I'm going to take 2 stitches forward, 2 stitches back, 2 back stitches, and then I'm going to switch over into a zigzag zigzag stitch, because we are dealing with a knit and we want this dart to slightly stretch. All right, one dart is sewn. And take that pin out. Let me do the other side. Now I turn my machine off and on again, so I'm back to the straight stitch because I switched from the straight stitch to the zigzag stitch. But I'm doing a tip of a dart again, and I need that straight stitch. Lowering it very carefully right where I want it. Take a couple stitches in place. And take about 4 stitches before I turn it into a zigzag. Okay, ever so slightly more. And then I raise the needle and switch it over to the zigzag. And now I have to lift up my fabrics and move it over so that the thread is centered on where I want my seam to go down, so it's not kind of taking a weird big bite out of my dart. That will make no sense unless you're doing it, but and I have 2 darts. Sorry about that. As I do it again. 2 darts. I push the fullness to the bottom, but we're not going to worry about that yet. We're going to do our shoulder seams next. So front, back, shoulders, and I am going to use a mock serger stitch because I'm not using a real serger on this project because we are live. But mock serger stitches worked really well in the catcher costume, so I can't complain about them. That just... Oh, this is totally not what I want it to do at the moment. What's going on? I'm just impatient trying to pull it through too fast. Spooky is not happy, LOL. I'm gonna come make and say hi. He wanted attention, he got attention. Yeah? Exactly. Okay. So on this knit, that mock serger stitch just pushed the fabric into the bobbin, into the feed dogs, and I didn't like the way that went. So I'm just going to do a straight stitch over the shoulder seam. It doesn't need to be a stretchy seam for the shoulder. Yeah, in fact, this sewing machine really just wants to eat this fabric, which is bothering me. Don't eat it, please. Oh, there we go. I got it. Okay, let's do the other side. I'm just going to do the straight stitch first before we change it up. What's nice is this fabric doesn't fray, so I don't have to super worry about my seam finishes. It came unthreaded while I was talking. It's okay, it's live. Sewing, when I started out, was just a lot of it was troubleshooting my sewing machine. more than actual progress of making a garment. Okay. We good? We good? We all lined up? Let's get this sewn. Okay, we have shoulder seams. It's starting to look like a dress. Now, instead of doing the side seams, I'm going to put in the sleeves first. You know, those really comfy things that you're sitting on, Spooky? Sorry, Spooky. Not my fabric, not my fabric. This is my dress. Here are my sleeves. Okay, I push this guy to the side for a second. And let's put the sleeves in. This one. All right, right sides together. I'm going to take this sleeve and pin it on both ends and then in the center. Because there is not any, a lot of easing. There's just a little bit of easing. And I'm just going to pin it first and then sew it. I'll pin both sleeves first. Okay, so let's see what everybody's saying. Oh, Danda's junk. I never liked using Droid Cam with OBS. I'm figuring it out. I like having an extra cam, and my phone camera is way better than all my other cameras. Oh, Hionolith, yes, I need to work on my camera settings. I'm working on it. Yeah, Spooky's quite verbal, but now he's pretty happy. He is just off camera. He like knows where the boundary of where the camera is. And he is right there. All right, so I'm bouncing back and forth, alternating which side I'm pinning, because I don't want to start on one side, pin it all the way to the other, and then have like a 1/4 inch left over. If there's going to be anything left over, I want it smooshed towards the cap of the sleeve for movement reasons. Austin Lips, did your mom teach you how to sew, Felicia? I think she attempted to when I was younger because I got into all of her crafting things all the time, my poor mother. But I actually have a bachelor's of fine arts in fashion design, merchandising, and marketing. So I have a bachelor's degree in this, and I worked for 3 years in bridal gown design and manufacturing, and I have been sewing for a very, very long time, doing all sorts of things, but fun things, of course. Okay. So my sleeve is ever so slightly bigger than what I'm pinning it into. But as long as it's not gathered in the armpits, we good. I just don't want bunchy armpits. Who does? But at the sleeve cap, I'm going to put all my easing up there, and it should look really nice. Should. Okay. Pinning's kind of my favorite part because if I take my time and do it right, it makes the next part so much easier. Okay. All right. Okay. So it is a little bit gathered at the top of my cap, the sleeve cap, but not at the curve where it goes under your armpits. And it is pinned on, but not the underarm, just the cap of the sleeve. Let me do the other side now. Right sides together. Okay. Put this on the side that I have been wanting to use. Spooky is so peaceful now. He is being a little void. But everybody's calm. Toby, Bruno, and Spooky, so it's nice. Now, when I bring this over to the sewing machine, or bring the sewing machine over to this project, I am going to be putting the sleeve cap side down on my sewing machine. I am not going to put, because that's the side that has the gathers, that I'm gathering it into the bodice itself. So just, you smoosh it and you smoosh it and you smoosh it, and eventually it turns out all right. Bodice front to bodice back. Okay, and then the seam allowance, I usually push it towards the back as a general rule, so it's all kind of put all the same way. And then it also helps me stay oriented. Where's my front, where's my back? Especially when pieces start to all look the same. Yes, Iana, let there be peace and quiet. For as crazy as they all are all very lazy and chill, so. You smoosh it, and then you smoosh it, and you smoosh it, and eventually it works out. Here we go. So I have both my sleeves pinned up and gathered. Let me Brad Kaufman, welcome. I like the light show behind you. I appreciate that. I have fun with that. I wasn't going to turn it on, but I was like, why not? So thank you for noticing. I do usually throw it underneath the table because it is a glass table, but threw it behind me today. All right. Fullness of my fabric on this side of the sewing machine. I am not going to try and shove all of this through the sewing machine this way. Mistakes have been made in the past. We do not need to do those. Fullness of the fabric on here. Start from the side that I can. And we're going to do a stretch stitch. See if the sewing machine likes this. I may just have the wrong needle on here, to tell you the honest truth, but that's an easy fix. I think I can make it ever so slightly easier for me by increasing the stitch length, but yeah, I think I need to increase the stitch length. Yeah, that's so much better. Okay, so I usually try and use the default because it should be where standard, but it's way too small and doesn't look right, so not doing it that way. Okay, one sleeve in and it has enough stretch. Okay, let's do the other side. All right. Brad Kaufman says, I remember when I was younger, my mom tried to teach me how to sew and constantly telling me about this girl that was in her class who sewed her hand so bad her teacher had to take the sewing machine apart. Yes, no, that can easily happen. You don't want to put your fingers in the needle area. I really, really, really like having long fingernails when I'm sewing because I can get really close to the needle without fear of stabbing my fingers. So I've heard those horror stories. I've stabbed a nail or two. I have not actually gotten my fingers. Knock on wood. There's no wood. There we go. But yes, a sewing machine is still a machine with moving parts and sharp things. So much nicer since I did the stitch length higher. It needed breathing room. All right, instead of, I'm so used to sewing blind that I was pushed the wrong button and it threw me off. I'm like, that's not what that one's supposed to do. Okay. Starting to look like a dress. It's a little breezy. Okay, to finish the edges, I'm going to do it super easy. This is a stretch lace. And I am going to, where's my sleeves? I'm going to finish the edges of my sleeves before I sew the underarm seam. Let me cut right at the edge of the scallop. Iana says, at Behind the Scenes Fashion, it's like a tabard. I would say it's like a kirtle. But yes, before the seams are sewn, it is very much a tabard kind of a style at the moment. I like that word. How much lace do I want? More or less? I want more. I'm going to do more. And yeah, there we go. With the lace sewn, now I'm going to flip it this way and stitch it so that the lace is what's popping up. that one, I'm going to use an abstract stitch because it'll just disappear. That's number 16 on my sewing machine. Ooh, Brad Kaufman, I took my fingertip off at the slicer at work. LOL. That's not funny. That's terrible. It's awful. I feel bad. I'm always afraid of that happening. Look at, now the lace is attached. It's laying flat. The edge is finished and it's still stretchy. So, yay. Let's do that to the other side. Piece of lace. So this lace has a shiny side and a not shiny side. So if I do this upside down, it's going to make a difference and you'll see it and it'll bother me. So make sure the right sides are together. Okay, let me get this sleeve on. Turn this off and on again. 39 is my stretch stitch, and I want to keep my stretch stitch, but I want to keep it as long as it possibly can. And right sides together, stitch it down. I felt that go inside the sewing machine. We're not going to play that game. Let me rethread it. Good thing I'm really fast at threading sewing machines. Not that fast at threading sergers. Brad Kaufman, my finger is fine, just shorter. Can you still have feeling in the tip of it? Because that'd be weird if it was all numb. Okay, I will read in just a second. I need to focus on what I'm doing so I can do this. Don't worry, we're only live, but it'll be pretty when we're done. Okay, let me see. Let's do this. Much better. Okay, back on the game. You do not want to stretch as you sew. We're using a stretch stitch, but we're just feeding him through the feed dogs as gently as we can so that we're not stretching out the wrist, because it doesn't need all of that. All right, 16. And while everything's still open, I am going to put some lace around my neckline too. I'm going to hide my seam at the shoulder seam, right sides together. Start at my shoulder seam, seam allowance pressed towards the back. All right, let's do this. All right, I do not want to stretch out my neckline. It is a curve and I can really make it wonky here. I really want to just, if anything's tight, it's my lace. But I don't want to super pull it because I don't want it to lay wonky. But I want the feed dogs to really feed in the fabric. You okay there, Toby? Toby's starting to get restless. All right, gently, gently. Ah, don't do that. Making progress. What did I just break off my sewing machine? Oh no, what did I do? Oh, the extra table bit so that I have access to right here, the underneath of my sewing machine for making curves. It helps. I am front and center right now. Oh shit. I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Okay, went all the way around the neckline, and now let's do our top stitching. I'm going to use the abstract stitch again. The rolling thing by your arm, it's like it's from the Cat in the Hat. Oh, this thing. The spool of thread. $16 and there we go. Let's see if this will work. Okay, gently without stretching. If anything, it's a little bit of smooshing. With knits, the secret is to not stretch them out. I know there's the stretches you sew, and it's important in certain places. But if you want flat seams, you really have to let it sew together flat. I have been wanting my nippers. They're just right out of sight. Like, just out of reach. Okay, let me trim my threads so it looks nice and not homemade. Trim, 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 trim. I have a lovely lace neckline now. I feel like I could have scooped it way more. It's not that deep of a neckline. Oh well. Hi, Toby. Come here, it's okay. Wanna come say hi? Okay. All right. Let me pull out my pins. I'll pull that back down in just a moment. Pull that back up in just a moment. Now it's time to pin up our dress. So the neckline is finished. The sleeves are finished. But break my basting stitch there. Now we have to do the underarm seam. I like to start at the wrist because I like the wrist to perfectly line up. I leave my tails so I have something to hold on to at the sewing machine. Can you guys see Spooky? I feel like he's like right off of camera. Brad Kaufman, I would get so confused all the stitches or forget which one I was on. A straight stitch doesn't stretch. A zigzag stitch does. And with that basic information, there's a piece of my sewing machine. You kind of make your choices and judgments based on that. And so I did a stretch stitch. Okay, I put a pin right at my wrist because that's where I want it to meet up perfectly. The next pin I'm going to put in is right at the armpit. All the seam allowance I'm going to press towards the wrist because when you put your arm in, it pushes the seam allowance towards the wrist, and that way it doesn't feel bulky in your armpits because that's the pits, to have too much bulk in your pits. Oh, I don't see Spooky. Yeah, no, he's right there. Just out of camera view. So once I put in those two pins, I will just gently make sure that they all line up. Because this has happened to everybody. You start on one side and then all of a sudden they were the same length and now they're not the same length anymore. Like the top fabric is longer than the bottom fabric. And so this pinning method of mine is kind of how I've avoided that. Pin to my dart, all the fullness down towards the bottom. And then I'm going to pin to the waist. And then after that, it's just a straight line and I can fix the hem up as we go. So I'm going to pin it right at the waist and probably pin it right in between. Okay, so this side's pinned. Let's do the other side. Start at the wrist because I really want those to line up. All my extra thread that I didn't trim off yet, I use that to hold it in place when I'm stitching at the sewing machine. then to the armpit, all the excess fullness. So I really like to make sure that these seams line up. Like I put a pin right in the seams, so they are perfectly lined up, because this can, when it doesn't line up in the armpit, it's weird looking to me and it bothers me. It's not a big deal, but I know how to do it better, and a well-placed pin really does help. All right, pin it in between every so often. The more pins I put in, the more pins I have to take out. They're like sewing speed bumps. Okay, dart fullness down towards the waistband. All right, what does this fabric remind you guys of? To me, it reminds me of like a tea set or like Rococo 1700s dresses. Like, if you told me it was an English tea rose, I'd be like, oh, okay, I believe you. All right. I guess it's time to sew the side seams. I feel like it should be more complicated than it really is, but it's not. All right, start at the wrist and drive as fast as we can. Austin Lips, I would mess up sewing, but you are a pro sewer. Of course we all mess up sewing. Everybody messes up sewing. I have met many a pro sewers that still mess up sewing. It's how we handle the problems. So, remember how I told you I leave the extra threads because I'm going to need to yank on them? I just got past the lace and it wants to eat the fabric, but I have a good grip on these extra threads at the wrist. I'm just going to force smoosh it over that thick seam and right where those strings are. And now it's not going to get eaten in the sewing machine, because sometimes the sewing machine likes to eat your fabric. And that's a pain in the butt when it does that. When I'm sewing really, really fast, I have the Speed Racer theme song in my head going, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go. And then it makes me want to sew faster. But I'm already maxed out on my speed. Now we fall silent because I'm making progress. Brad Kaufman says there's an old sewing facility near me that back in the day the machines would sound like they were singing. People called it the singer singing needles. That's funny. Armpits are also a thick seam that I will use my seam allowance, my long threads to pull to get over. I just did that and I was like, oh, little things I do because I've made those mistakes before. But the biggest thing with sewing is stop while you're ahead, take a deep breath, and start over, as opposed to digging your heels in and committing more and more and more into the, oops, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to... As soon as you know it's not going to work, you stop. Because I hate ripping out seams. All right, now we're past where I had it all pinned. Now I just have to actually like naturally line it up. When they all just lay where they're supposed to, I feel like the world is right. The stars are aligned and it's going correctly. When they are fighting me, I go, why? What is wrong? What do you need? And then I wonder if it's even like the correct pieces or sides and stuff. Okay. Almost finished. All right, adding a couple pins. All right, on our mark, get set. Lay this flat. On our mark, get set, go! I want to sew super fast, but I feel like I need to slow down because I'll make a mistake if I go. Yeah, I just want to drive super fast. Before I get to the ends, if I'm just like holding it together while I'm pinning and sewing, I will go ahead and skip to the end and put a pin in the end so I know that my one fabric isn't getting significantly shorter than the other, because that can easily happen. You know how I know this? Because I've made these mistakes and I've had to rip them out and take my time and do them again and again. One side done. On the other side, I want to do a slit. To here. Arbitrary point, but I do want to do a slit. I think it'll be fun. Okay. So I'm going to start at my wrist, holding these extra threads because that is going to make it over the hump of all that seam allowance just stacked up on itself. You okay, Toby? All right. Well, Brad Kaufman, I'll see you on the next one. Austin Lips, I'm just wondering what you do on your spare time when you are not working on your live. Do you watch TV or what? I like to watch YouTube, science channels, and math vlogger, and other weird stuff like that. Yes, of course I watch TV. Not as much as I should, because I'm definitely behind on all of the series of everything. But at least there's still plenty of good things to watch. I don't often have a lot of spare time, so what do I do? What do I do with my days? Nothing. Nothing at all. No. I went on a bike ride yesterday. That was fun. We're getting there, we're getting there. All right, we are to the waistline. Feel like I'm announcing like a racetrack, and we're making it around the bend. We've made it to the halfway point. We're headed towards the slit. We are on the skirt. All right, this is where it's not all pinned, so I actually have to pay attention to what I'm doing. But it's laying so nicely, so I know it's going to work out. I have a good feeling. I'm starting to get off. Shh. Don't do that. Stay nicely. There we go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. All right, let me put this down for a second. And before I hem it, I'm going to try it on. Definitely have to trim the strings. Here's the slit. You can see my lovely dress underneath here. I like the neckline. I honestly, whoa, that jumped up. I feel like I could have done the neckline a little scoopier. The back neckline. Again, could have scooped it all the way down to the back. But this is kind of what I was picturing when I was looking at this fabric going, I want that as just like a long dress. Again, the slit. This is too much fun. Yanalith, I would have the slit on both sides. You know what? We can do that. Let's do that. I am going to take the dress off off the camera because I don't want to have a wardrobe malfunction. Give me 1 second, please, and thank you. Okay, so we like a double slit. Since I'm making this dress up as we go off the top of my head, double slit it is. Let me line it up so it ends up on the same spot. From here to here. Mark it with the B. Boop. And then I don't have a seam ripper on me, but I don't need it. I'm just going to use this. Although I did a stretch stitch, so this may be a pain in the butt to rip out, but if it is, I don't care. We'll do it anyways, because I like the idea of a double slit. Thank you, Yanalith. I think this is super pretty fabric, and I think it made a really pretty dress. I just need to get this started. Okay, of course, because it is a stretch stitch, it doesn't just pop as easily as I want it to. Okay, let me seam ripper, having the right tools for the job really does help. And because this is a stretch stitch, it doesn't want to pop out as easily as I want it to. Hold on, let me see if I can. There we go. Just have to get it started. Okay, 2 slits now. I am going to hem this now with this lace just because I feel like it works. Let me start. On one side, right sides together. I'm leaving a little bit of a tail so I'm not on the very edge of my lace. And I'm just going to give stitch all the way around. Don't do that. Shh, it's okay. Good night, the 45th clown from the UK. Thank you again for the stream. It was nice to see everyone dressed looking amazing. Thank you. I am just going to add this on and then I'll call it a night. I think I can get this done super quick. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm always go speed racer. I really like industrial sewing machines because they go super fast. Oh, nice. Austin Lips. I'm seeing icing working on my vocals, singing over and over and over again until I get it right. Like 20s music, 30s mama calls me old soul. Oh, nice. I am too embarrassed to sing in front of people, but I do enjoy singing myself. Oops. I really hate when sewing machines beep at me for no reason, or I can't figure out what the good reason is. But this sewing machine, it only beeps at me for good reasons, so I don't get annoyed by its beeps. I understand them. But my friend's mom had a sewing machine that just beeped for everything. It beeped because it was gonna sew. It was beeps because it was gonna stop. Okay, it's a teeny tiny detail of having the lace, but I really like the lace edge. It's making me smile. And that's worth it. All right, let's go. Mark, get set, go! I feel like hemming takes forever because you don't realize how wide it is around because it's like a circle. So dress that never ends. No, that was the last dress we did last weekend. Or last Tuesday. We have gotten from one side, we're almost to the other side of the dress. This would go way faster if I didn't add that second slit, but I really like that we have a second slit in there. It's fun. We're going with it. Around the corner. I'm all twirled. Okay. Okay, ready, set, go. This fabric has been staring at me all week, and I was like, no, I'm not going to touch it until the live stream because I wanted to do this, share this with you guys as opposed to just goofing off. But I really, gave me extra time to dwell on what I was going to do to this dress. I was like, I don't know, no waist seams, let me just do it simple, simple, simple. But I wanted to feel like a princess dress. I think it feels like a princess dress, and I am very happy about that. Okay, one side. Thank you, Eonolith. I'm glad you like the flowers. I really like them too. They're on the verge of being cheesy, but I like the cheese. Right sides together, right sides together. A little bit of a tail, so I'm not working on edges. Let's get back. Pull that pin out. Do this. Go super fast. Every time I think I'm going fast, I feel like I slow down. Oh, thank you, Eonolith. They are most definitely not cheesy, and it's the perfect spring dress. Yep, that's probably why I'm feeling it. It is about that time. Oh, I feel it in my neck. My sewing, I'm starting to hunch. Gotta stretch my neck and relax it mentally. Okay. Toby, Bruno, and Spooky are so peaceful right now. They know that I'm sewing. Oh, and news on my other cat, Jack. He is getting more and more acclimated to the family. He has come out of his hole on his own while everybody was out and about. He doesn't hang out with everybody yet, but he will be soon. He's feeling safer and safer. He is such a little scaredy cat. Once I'm done sewing all of this, I'm going to have to flip it and then stitch it all down so it lays pretty like we did for the neckline and wrists. Sorry, talking and sewing slows me down. But not singing and sewing. If I have music on the radio and I'm singing along, I sew the fastest. Again, because these are both stretchy, I'm not stretching either fabrics. I'm not stretching the trim and I'm not stretching the edges because I don't want to stretch this out. I want it just to sew together the way it's supposed to be. Where are they? Bruno is right in front of me looking at me. Spooky is right here where I can touch him, and Toby is right at my feet. If I move my sewing machine, you guys still couldn't see him because he's just like right out of the... They do not understand where the camera can see them. All right, let me... Oh, we're in the home stretch. We're last little bits. what's nice is in the future, and future people watching this, they can just speed up and fast forward and I'd already be done. But I do not own a montage machine yet. Almost done. About a foot left. The last few inches is usually where I have like run out of thread, trip over something, screw something up. But because I said something, hopefully it will go smoothly. Break a needle, you know. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Yay! Okay, now I am going to, they're stitched right sides together, so it's all the wrong way. I have to now flip it out and sew down my seam allowance so that it lays the way I want it to. Okay, let's do this. Put my tails where they belong. And because this isn't stretchy, I think I'm just going to do the straight stitch all the way around. It is stretchy, but it's not a seam that's going to be under stress of being stretched. I like your spooky cat song. I have very Austin lips. I have a lot of spooky cat songs myself. He has about 3 that are just for his name alone. Toby, I do the bingo song too. I don't think Bruno likes his name. He doesn't like being told no, and his name is Bruno. But that's what he was called when I got him. Hooey! I'm getting there, I'm getting there. You smooshing, you smoosh it. Oh, look it, I'm 5 minutes over 2 hours-ish. But I have a completed dress, which corners to do them nicely. Two hours when I'm live. Now that's not bad because when I go live, I usually take twice as long as I normally do to sew things. So, yay! made up a dress and sewed it. Just keep swimming. Guys enjoying watching the top of my head? I know, I'm like really into it because I'm like getting it. It's getting done. Corner. We're rounding the bend. Ah, I hit the corner pretty. There we go. Okay, we're halfway through. It's the top of the top of the slit. I can do this. There we go. Okay. Jeez. Got it. Okay. Now we're in the home stretch. Stretch, almost done. Okay. corner, and then I just have to finish it up the leg. Dress that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Started sewing this, not knowing what it was, and I'll continue sewing this forever just because this is the dress that never ends. I could do this. Okay, that's the ugliest corner I've done so far. I can still turn it around. Actually, that turned out pretty. Okay, don't hate it. Okay, almost. Oh, Toby's done. He's like, this is taking too long. Sorry, Toby, you have to wait. Hi, Toby. Okay. The hem is lace trim now. I really like it. All right, let me move this out of the way. Put this back in the bucket. So it's a slit and a slit. Twirly skirt. Don't worry, I'll just do that on a chair and not fall off. No, this doesn't add anything. Okay. I have a dress. I made it up. I think it's really fun. Ionolith. I want to wear that to Ren Fair. That was kind of what it was inspired by. Medieval kirtle dress. Usually they're wool and not stretchy, but I wanted stretchy. And I think it turned out really good. Maybe make it a veil later on. Right? I feel like this could have some kind of cool head covering. Oh, well, this is definitely a base dress that you can turn into almost any character. It is, you can make the skirt wider, narrower. I eyeballed it, made it up as we went, and I now have a completed dress, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So, and then also, I wanted to let everybody know that I have decided that when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway where I will be doing a custom pattern block set like I used for this dress. I made this one based off of my measurements. I've made them for hundreds of people to their specific measurements. So I will do one lucky subscriber. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll figure out how I'm going to do the contest and all. But I will be making a pattern block set for them out of their measurements. So if you want to participate in that, make sure that you are subscribed. And when I hit the 1,000 subscribers, we'll have a big celebration, and I will make a custom pattern for one of you guys. But yay, I now have a finished dress. A mess I have to clean up. But at least I get to clean it up in a pretty dress. I am going to be twirling all day, that's for sure, for the rest of the day. Hi, Spooky. Do you like my dress? I think he likes it. I think he likes belly rubs is what I think he likes. No, because you're a kitty cat and kitty cats don't like belly rubs. Okay, well, it is time to go through and trim all my threads. Because I don't need these ones anymore. They are no longer, I don't need them for sewing anymore. Okay, so if you made it this far, thank you for joining me. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys learned something. I will see you guys all next Tuesday. Austin Lips, how can I do that? I'm on my PlayStation and I'm in Hawaii. Ohio, Felicia. I don't know. We'll figure out the particulars of the giveaway when we get closer, but I'm still have quite a few subscribers to go before we're there, so I will keep that open, but that's going to be the goal. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and until next time, bye.